What can I say? Hi there. We all have a pillow, don't we, at home? And sometimes we just want to have something different in our rooms, in our bedrooms, wherever, to just give us that comfort and colour. So today, what I'm bringing to you is some plain polyester cotton fabric, and then nice tribal print of African wax fabric. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to demo something very simple and easy to do. And I say easy to do because this is really easy. So I just want you to journey with me, sew with me today. Take one of those pillows that you've got that you want to have a change and you want to spruce up. So we need to find the center of the front of the fabric, and what I've done, I pressed that way down and then pressed, excuse me, sort of pressed it into a square so I can find the center point of the middle. And the reason for this is because we're going to applique these arts and we're going to form like a 4-leaf clover of a pattern. But if you bear with me, you'll be able to see why I'm saying this. But first of all, before we can achieve that, some of us that do applique, right, you know that it's a certain sort of stitch in your machine, and we've all got applique stitch in our machines, or even a zigzag can be used to applique onto your fabric, onto your two main fabrics. But I'm going to show you a nice little trick here. On the back, I've got some fusible facing, and I'm going to sew this, and there's a reason why I'm going to sew these two together. Right, so bear with me, let's begin. And I just want to say to you as well, make sure that when you're sewing this onto your fusible fabric, that you've got it facing right sides together, as if you were going to sew, I don't know, a cushion or something. And I should have done it as a 1/4 inch seam, and I didn't change the machine settings, so it doesn't really matter. But I must point that out to you, that's what you've got to do. And for the purpose of the demo, I'm speeding up here, but you viewers at home, make sure that you do it nice and slowly, not as fast as me, just take your time. This isn't a race. Take your time and enjoy the process. Right, this is the fun bit. So I've done that, and I'm looking, bear with me, for my scissors, which are over here. My assistant isn't here to give them to me or pass them to me. I've got to do it all myself. I think he's gone off to make a cup of tea. He's asked Stephen. Right, let me show you what I'm doing. This is really important. This is where I would have needed Stephen to do this, because knowing me, I'll probably clip into the fabric. But we're not going to clip into the fabric. What we're going to do right now is we are going to cut through this fabric, through the fusible, let me get it right, the fusible part. Put this down, give this a pinch. For some of you that do not just appliquing, why am I doing this? Because I want a nice, neat edge. I don't want to be left with the raw edges that you often find in applique design. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm cutting right through this fabric here at the back, the fusible fabric, I should say again. Doesn't matter how you cut it. If you can cut it in the middle, that would be nice. Normally, we need to also cut this all around, really make it thin, and then you'd pull it through, right? You'd pull it through to get to the right side of the fabric. And because I've already prepared 4, this is what you're going to have. Can you see those neat edges? If you didn't have the fusible here, sandwiching it and then pulling it through, you wouldn't have those neat edges. You would have, well, raw edges. And that's nice, that can be a nice look, but I like things to look nice and crisp. I'm just going to line these up here now because I'm going to prepare them to create the design that I've just talked about. Right. Let's find the middle. Let's find the middle. I'm going to have to stand up for this. I'm bending down, I hope that's okay. So there, what we're going to do, we're going to create a flower. Can you see? And I've actually I've used some fabric spray and it's actually come through the fabric, but eventually it will dry. I suggest, because this was the first time I've used the glue fabric, I would suggest you use a glue stick. And then you won't have it coming through because I've still got to wait for that to dry. But it's always good to do these things and have a trial and error because then you know what works and what doesn't work. So I'm just now going to place that on there. I just wanted to show you how you put it together. So I'm going to take each one apart again. So remember, place in the centre. And let's try a stitch. Let's try an applique stitch. And for those of you that don't have applique in, you can use, gosh, this has got so many stitches. I think I'm going to be here forever. Let's try again. I might have gone past it. This posh machine. We're not there yet. Applique. I'm going to increase the stitch as well. But remember, you can use a zigzag and make sure that your zigzag is larger, so go up. Right, I'm here, I'm back. And do you know what I would do for this? I would, if I were you, and I didn't bring any pins, but pin it, use a glue stick so that you've got it in place. It really is important. And I'm hoping in this demo that I can at least get the pattern, the front of the pillow done for you. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stop for a minute. Can you see how that's looking? I'm just going to now do another one, just in case we don't get this completed, but at least you get to see what it looks like. Let's try again, another one that's just slipped. So in future, we know that I need an assistant. Stephen, my partner. He had me. I haven't got him. He's gone. I'm waiting for my coffee. I've never actually done paper piecing quilting before. I'm not a quilter, but I think this would be really good if any of you do paper piecing. This might be a good way to attach, to make your edges nice and perfect to provision. So I'm just quickly giving you an idea of how this is going to look. So I'm sure many of you were thinking, wow, that pillow, you know, I can have a personal pillowcase with some colour. Excuse me one moment. Can you see now it's taking shape? It's turning into that clover. This would be good for Valentine's. You might choose to use just 2 hearts rather than 4. But as I said, we're creating this flower, this 4-leaf clover. But when I was designing this, I had in mind to make Stephen this pillowcase because Valentine's is coming up. And then I got carried away and thought, ooh, a 4-leaf clover, that'd be nice. And I think these colours are neutral for a male or a female. So we're going to provide this, bring this to you for you to create. Right. The beauty about sewing with African fabrics is it's so versatile. For example, have you got a bag at home that needs a facelift? And I'm going to demo how to do that. And whether it's me or Stephen demoing that with African fabrics, basically what I'm saying is don't throw out your bags. Join us. Let us show you, teach you how to create a new bag with colour and vibrancy. If you're a paper crafter, again, these fabrics can be used for paper crafting. They can be used for journaling as well. They can be used for not just cushions. You might want to reupholster a chair, for example. I've never done it as yet, and what I haven't done is you can make jewellery. So that's something that I'm going to look into and bring that to Hochanda. I've never done it before, and I'd love to. So we are almost there. But as you can see, this is how it's looking. Excuse it flapping about. That is how it looks. And then what we would do when we've completed this, that's going to be the back of the pillow. It's really, 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 really simple. And we aim to bring easy projects to our customers. Sewing Bliss is literally in its infancy new. And it came about because I was completely becoming obsessed with sewing. I've been sewing for many years as a teenager. I used to make a dress and go out clubbing. And in them days, fabric was, you know, it was out on the market, it was easy and it was accessible to buy. And then I decided, you know what, I really love this sewing. Went to college, did fashion, did pattern cutting, and then came away from it for some reason. After many, 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 many years, I had a stroke, several in fact, so I'm lucky to be here. I find sewing mindful, I find it healing for myself personally, and I've shared my story, and there's so many other people that have, you know, that have taken up sewing and said it's lifted their moods, it's a pleasure. Again, even in paper crafting, you know, I'm sure many of you viewers enjoy your paper crafting, and it's just something you can get lost in and do. And it does take you into another world, you know, you're there doing whatever it is you're creating. We're almost there. Do you know what? I have one wish. I wish that I'd have sat with my children, who are now, the twins are 23, my daughter's 25, and I just wish that I'd have made time to taught all of them, because it's not girl or boy, is it? It's, you know, there's so many of us, whether we're boy or girl or whatever, it would have been lovely to have taught them and got them into sewing. What am I going to do now? Right, I am now going to fold this over twice, and this is the seam allowance. Let me think. The seam allowance would be about 1.5, but you actually need to fold it over twice. So this is just the close in case. And the other thing you need to do, which I've just forgotten because I've got so carried away, is cancel that. Cancel my applique. Go to a straight stitch, unless you want to applique the seam, and you can actually do that as well. So let me cut it, and it's not cutting, is it? Oh yes, it is. It is indeed. Right, we're almost there. Do you know, I forget the cameras are here, and I just get carried away, and I'm talking to you like you're here with me. And we've had a little accident. But you know what? That doesn't matter, because it shows that it's all real and going on. So remember, it's a double, turn it over twice, seam, and that's what you get. Okay, let's just quickly try and put it together. But before I can do that, I know I'm missing something here. I'm faffing about, but just ignore me, because I just need to test something out. I just got to see the length. These will be pre-cut for you. Now, this is longer because that's the inside of the pillar. That's where your pillar goes underneath, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm just going to do that for you now. I'm almost there. Bear with me. Might be in my own little world, but I'm here. I'm still here. And I've done it in white so that you can see where I'm sewing, but obviously this would be a proper colour match if you wanted it to be. And I've just done something, I know. Okay. We're almost there. Right. We're going to put the seams together now and create the pillow. Yeah, we're there. For this seam allowance, it's 1.5. It's not a quarter like when when you're quilting. It is for your applique, but it isn't when you're doing this. And if you were doing a cushion, it's the same process, but of course the cushion's a square, not like an oblong. Now that little pocket that I've sewn across, I've chosen to sew it across, but you can actually keep the pocket open so that you can push the pillar in and close the pillar in, if that makes sense. And if you get your seams perfectly straight, you wouldn't have to be cutting off here. This isn't perfectly straight in terms of how it's been cut, but not to worry. And do you know what I would do? What I do at home when I've got time? I do a French seam. What does that mean? It means I sew it right sides together. So you sew it right side. You sew it on the wrong side, which means you sew it you sew it on this side. Turn the pillar in, sew it again, and then you've got an enclosed seam. Maybe at some point I can do demonstrations of what kind of seams can be achieved in dressmaking. And I say that's just in case if you didn't want to overlock, zigzag your edges and finish them off. It's a neat way to achieve that, is a French seam. Right, so I'm just going to pull that through for you. And no, I didn't press as I went along, but I can press now. Get our corners out. But let me just show you what I mean. So what I did, unfortunately, because I got carried away, I went across here. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go across there, so that line wouldn't be there. But it's the pocket for the pillow. And I haven't got a pillow, but that is the finish demo. And we just press it. That's the back. And that's the front. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. And we're there. But as I said, these would be pre-cut for you, but perfect for Valentine's, because this was created out of a heart that has now created a clover. And you just press flat, that's it, and you've got a beautiful pillow, or a throw pillow. Can go on the back of a chair, on your bed, in your spare room, wherever you want it to be. Lovely to speak to you again. Thank you for tuning in. Bye for now.